guidance set it flat to the 2068 gilt. It's formal pricing there for the DMO syndicate.
You guys going to trade the Hungarian interest rate decision in 20 minutes? Hey, hey, hey. Are there going to be balloons and clowns, Ryan? You got to have a jumpy house for the kids. So good morning, everybody. Let me remind you that trading is very, very risky. It's very dangerous. I don't know what language that is. Trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Past performance, it's not indicative of future results. That's all I really am required to say. But I like to say stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. But all they want me to say is trading is risky and not appropriate for everyone. And your past performance is not indicative of future results. So for example, you could trade really, really well, very, very profitably on your demo account, but that doesn't mean you'll trade well in a live account with real money. You could still screw it all up. So you need to know that. All right. Hi, my name is Wayne. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. Won't you please stop by TradersWay.com and open up a demo account and test our speed and execution, all that kind of stuff. I have done a third-party test, and we are quite fast and much faster than what you'd call the big boys. So that's good for you, right? Lightning McQueen, quicker than quick, faster than fast. So anyways, hey, give us a test. We'd love to earn your business. Right now, I'm here to earn your loyalty, so I might as well get on with it, right? We do these strategy sessions every single morning, 7:30 a.m. New York time, which is approximately London lunch. Good opportunity for the community at Forex.Today to get together and share their ideas and collaborate. We do this Monday through Thursday here at Forex.Today, and every Friday I zip over to FXStreet.com for premium members. I do strategy sessions there on Fridays. The first Friday of the month is reserved for non-farm payrolls, which I've been doing for almost 11 years at FX Street. It is their largest webinar, I think the largest Forex webinar. So swing on by if you want that, because that's free for everybody, including the kids.
The change sales rising from 1.5% week on week, 1.3% week on week, 1.5% year on year.
That's Trade the News going in the background, by the way. Aye. Same store sales week over week, according to Goldman Sachs, looking like a positive number. Great. Good. So today is going to be the day that it's going to come back to you. But now, so IFO, great. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I just wake up in the morning and I sell euros. That's it. I'm like a water fountain of euros, right? Have you ever been to Ignatius Falls in Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil? Right there on the border. I've actually stood and looked down the devil's throat and threw euros. Well, that's not quite true, but you could just throw euros off the face of that. Has anybody been to southern Brazil to see those waterfalls? Yeah, it was great. The second day, my wife's like, I want to go down and I want to hike to the bottom. And I'm like, that sounds terrible. So she hiked to the bottom on the second day, and I took a helicopter over the top of the Devil's Throat. And I'm like, this is awesome. So, anyways, yeah, Niagara Falls of euros, man. Just, yeah, I wake up in the morning, I sell euros. It's just what I do. Oh, you're still reading about EU and the Eurozone and Canada are negotiating long standing battles between each other on things like lumber, things like fishing, things like beef. I don't know. I mean, Europe wants to protect their socialist pig dog farmers. You know what I mean? And around people, yeah, just whatever. So it's just, it's just negotiations. Right. If it didn't rock your world 10 years ago, why would it be rocking your world now, right? They'll work it out. They'll talk. All right, so we got Case Shiller. That's a tradable event. It's not huge. I wouldn't, it's fine. And what it is Case Shiller is the housing price in the top 20, I believe it is, housing markets in the United States. I don't think Shiller is even participating in this anymore. The story is, I think it was Case was one of Shiller's students at Yale, and Shiller went on to win the Nobel Prize in economics. And then his Case comes along and he's like, "Hey man, I'm getting into this real estate thing. Wouldn't it be neat if we collaborated and we like pumped out prices for these areas and we call it the Case Shiller? We'll sell it to somebody like Standard and Poor's, and it could be like an index of housing prices regionally." And he's like, "Yeah, do I have to do anything?" Like, no, just let us use your name. So, anyways, Ricardo says, "What do you sell euro against?" Well, I suppose it depends which way the wind blows, right? But the bigger issue, Richard, is that I wake up in the morning and I know what I want to do. I don't even need a chart. The chart is there to tell me where the resistance is, and I could use things like price action, oscillators, moving averages to discern when we're at resistance, whether I see weakness, and then I sell, right? That kind of thing. But the strategy is the strategy. So, like, you might be looking at the 4-hour 21 as resistance. Yeah, could be a rabbit, could be. So, anyways, moving on.com, we got that housing data. Yeah, we got some well-established trends. I think you might see a little price decline, whatever. This isn't peak season. I think this is all seasonality and stuff, but nobody cares. Nobody buys houses this time of year. But, we don't want to see horrible numbers. The one thing about the United States, which you might find interesting if you live somewhere else in the world, even though we just got out of this terrible housing crisis, there's a dramatic shortage of houses available for sale, and there are plenty of buyers. And one of the problems was a lot of people were just underwater on their mortgages, and they owed the bank 300,000, but the bank was only worth 200, or the house was only worth 250. So you're not going to sell your house for 250,000 because gee whiz, you still owe 300, and you probably put 20% down. And you're like, dude, I'd lose my shirt on this. So you just sit on it for years and let the weeds grow, right? But one interesting thing I talked to you guys about maybe 6 months ago is that a significant amount of Americans are at break even, and those houses might become available next spring. Whale oil be. So what that means is if and my buddy and I, my buddy owns like 6 or 7 houses, and we both agree like the time to buy is at Christmas. I know, preying on people's emotions, but you're dead broke. You got to sell your house if you want a deal, right? You know, someone's like, man, I got to sell this house. I can't even afford to buy my kids Christmas presents. Hey, I'll buy your house. Predatory? No, just, you know, supply and demand. So that's when you get the deal. So what I'm thinking is by the time April, May, and June comes along, a lot of people are going to sell their houses. Inventories are going to skyrocket, and prices probably won't go up. Really? So that's why would you care about an index about, you know, what prices used to be a month ago or a year ago, right? Who cares? You got to think ahead, right? So, anyways, Jimmy says demand for houses below a certain price point are high. Yeah, that's true. It's true. Oh, hang on. 1 second, guys. I'm working on a very big project. And something just came up. All right, sorry. Hang on. Yeah, cool. Life is great. Life is good. Life is good. All right, hang on. Sorry. Did I just say that out loud? Yeah. All right. There we go. Okay, Carney's going to speak. Holy smokes, eh? This is the stuff that is a big deal and moves markets. So you can see, you know, we got it listed as high, right? Carney and then Draghi. Mm, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. We're going to learn, like, are they done for the year? We're not, you know, that kind of stuff. Are they going to make any adjustments? You know, for example, if the Fed raises interest rates and these guys don't, you know, is Draghi going to do more? QE, like they're still talking about like, oh, well, maybe in March when it expires, maybe we'll increase that kind of stuff. So, you know, we need hints of what they're going to do in the first quarter here, and then, you know, what's Carney going to do? You know, someone was making a big stink the other day about, you know, retail sales going up in the UK and all that kind of stuff. But you have to realize retail sales retail sales have gone up because it's all done in currency. And I don't like this how they do it in the United States either. It's exactly the same way where they say um, they measure retail sales in the volume of currencies. So what I mean by that is if housing price, let's use like gasoline, that's part of retail sales. Everybody needs to buy gasoline at whatever the cost because you need to drive to work every day. I mean, you can't just like say I'm going to ride my bicycle 40 miles each way to get to work. And a lot of people drive that far. Great. So every single, you know, every day you're going to use gas. Once or twice a week you're going to fill up your tank. It's just a part of the, you know, part of doing business, right? Part of going to your job every day. Um, you know, so anyways, you fill up your tank. Well, if prices go up for gasoline, you pay more. There's no negotiation. Okay, so just that's that. You know, why will prices go up? Well, demand for gasoline could create a shortage of supply, and therefore the price goes up. But what if the currency just simply falls 10 or 20%? Well, then now you got to pay 10 or 20% more for that oil or that gasoline and that kind of stuff. So, or you just have foreigners pouring into the UK and buying stuff because now the British pound is cheaper. But like major retail, who was it just the other day? I might have misheard this, but it was during my I listen to the news when I'm in the shower. I thought I heard that one of the UK retailers raised prices across the board by 20% because they had already bought their inventory, but now the currency has fallen, and now they would have to buy new inventory once they sell, but inventory would be 10 or 20% more expensive to buy because of the currency has fallen. So now they're like, dope, we can't afford to sell this crap that's in the store now because we wouldn't be able to, is it Unilever? So anyways, like just these things matter. So a significant devaluation of the currency like we've seen in Brexit isn't necessarily like a good thing, right? So for example, if gasoline prices doubled in the United States, would that be good? Well, retail sales would go up. But you're like, oh my God, what do I do with this gas guzzling, Cadillac Escalade that I bought? Mm-hmm. Right? So it's not necessarily a good thing. And also even the velocity, the fact that it happened basically for the Brits, basically overnight, right? Remember we were stuck at 150 and we couldn't even believe it was 150, right? And then it was 130, and then at 122, like 120. Like it's fallen so fast, the velocity of change is so fast that no one could really hedge it, right? It was just like, holy crap! Right? So the velocity of change is really bad. So anyways, things like retail sales and inflation data is going to go up, but it's not necessarily the good reason. It's not because everyone in the UK is suddenly doing so well and everyone has a great job and there's a labor shortage, so wages are going up and everybody's filthy, stinking rich. And, now we got to tighten money, right? It doesn't feel that way to the Brits, right? Do we have anyone from the UK in the room today? Right? If you own a flat in London, you're probably chewing your fingernails, right? Going, "Oh my God, I just lost half of my net worth." And Texas in London? Yeah, does it feel good? Does it feel like everybody's filthy, stinking rich? Everybody drinking English champagne, English sparkling white wine. All of a sudden, I think probably the purse strings are being tightened, right? Yeah, advertising. What is that? Yeah, speaking on advertising, this AT&T Time Warner deal. There's just two dinosaurs trying to save themselves. Of course, neither of them are smart enough to figure it out. And what they don't realize is, millennials don't want advertising. They don't want advertising. They're sick of it. They don't want to buy a Chevy truck. They don't want to drink Budweiser beer. Stop advertising to them. They'll just pay the $15 a month and get Netflix. They just don't get it. So now, AT&T dinosaur is going to merge with Time Warner dinosaur, and they're going to do dinosaur things until they waste hundreds of billions of dollars. Too bad. So sad. So someone was saying that advertising is going to be left over for the poor, just poor people that can't afford to pay for stuff. They're just going to be sold stuff. All right, so Hungarian Central Bank just left interest rates unchanged at 0.90%. Fifth straight pause. Good job, Hungary. Yeah, rental market's super strong. Rental markets are strong when people can't afford to buy, or they've dumped their house because they had to get out because they couldn't afford it in the first place, and now they have to rent. So that's typically, rents go down when everyone's just buying, right? They're like, why would I rent a house? I'll just buy one. That's a sign that everybody's rich, right? Credit's available. People have good ratings, right? They have jobs and good, debt to equity ratios and stuff. So they're buying houses because they can. They're like, man, I'm going to get myself a nice house. I'm not going to rent this little apartment. I'm going to get me something nice. In that case, buying goes up and rentals go down. But right now, rents are very high, which is great if you bought. Like literally, my friend bought like 6 or 7 houses just during the financial crisis. He'd buy them and like rip everything down to the studs, put in new electrical, new plumbing, new driveways, just rebuilt the house basically. And he's like, yeah, it's going to be good for 30 years. Done. Amazing. All right, CPI coming out in Australia. Obviously, that's going to be important because we're trying to figure out if the Aussies have hit the bottom or not and want to head up. Nice 4-hour setups that took off. Have you been buying those dips back to the or like the daily 21, for example? Might have been something we covered yesterday. And Tech says travel more expensive, sure, if you're going to leave the UK, right? But actually pretty positive for the long term. Really interesting. My name is No. My number is No. Okay. To the no. Oh. So this is what we were looking at yesterday. Lufle tuliumum. Okay. So we're over here. This is the price of milk and cheese falling, but not oceanic milk and cheese products. European milk and cheese products. Ooh, snap. And Tex, we covered Euro Swissy hardcore light last week, so I'm going to leave that. Right? You got to let it go. You have to get it go. Right? My Euro is no. My Swissy is no. No, no, no. I don't know. I got a young daughter. What can I say? We listen to loud music in the car, and some of it's pretty good. So anyway, so that's European dairy prices. Anybody got young daughters? They're fun, huh? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, 11. Yeah, Ron. Yeah, cool. All right. So, anyways, what the heck are we looking at? USD Kitty CAD. Boy, that's crazy nonsense, right? right? But check this out. Yesterday I was watching this as it dumped. I think it was the 4 hour. Yeah, look at this. Bum, 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 bum. So it drops like just falls off the face of the earth. Like let's look at it on a 15-minute chart, right? Look at this, just like oh, like it's just crazy, right? Just the end, just the Canadian dollar, like oh my god, right? And then look, it came down, and of course you have to imagine this was down low yesterday. Hit the 4 hour 21, chow, straight back up again. And it was like redonkulous. If you're watching this on like a 1 hour chart, it was funny because it was just like, right? Just like ridiculous. Hit the 4 hour 21. And look at this 618 retracement. It's just like, holy smokes, right? With just straight down, straight up. Wow, huh? But for those that haven't been trading for a while, I want to kind of state the obvious in case the message is missed. In your opinion, based on what you saw when you know the world seemed to be changing, when the world was just like reacting, just like in huge numbers, you have to realize this is billions and billions of dollars happening in minutes, right? Like, wow. And it hit the 4 hour 21 and just popped straight back up. Right? Just straight back up. Look at this 15-minute chart. Dun, 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 just like rocket ships straight back up. What you want to walk away with is saying, hey, right? You say, hey, check that out. Somebody's using the 4 hour 21, and it's important enough that tens of billions, maybe 100 billion Canadian dollars move, and 15 minutes later, hundreds of billions come right back. Right? So it's just like you have to train yourself, right? You have to train yourself that the 4 hour is important, and you know it in the back of your mind because you're trying to build confidence, right? Right? Isn't that like one underlying message that we're working on, that you need to be a confident trader, right? And to be confident, you have to be consistent, and with consistency, you need control. So how do you actually use a 21 EMA on the 4 hour chart? It's just one little piece of the giant puzzle, right? How do you respect a 4 hour 21 EMA? Yes or no? And you need to kind of lock away that in the back of your mind. If you want to respect it, then you got to respect it, and you got to respect it every time, right? 60% of the time, it works every time, right? Now, Miles says it was pure speculation, but they were there waiting. Okay? Not some random place. You know, because I keep telling you guys, you got to have a bias. You have to have a point of view. And I even gave an example yesterday when I was actually Ubering with my father up to a golf course, because you don't want to drive, you talk to your dad, right? So anyway, so we're Ubering, and I'm watching the markets on my phone. I know, look, currency trader, right? I'm like, oh, look at the Canadian dollar, and it dropped like 100 pips. I'm like, what a bunch of nonsense! How could the Bank of Canada possibly be bullish? Or like, what a bunch of nink cow poops! What a bunch of gullibles, right? Ubering, not Ubering, Ubering. So anyway, so so I'm watching it on my phone. And I show it to him, like, there's the Canadian dollar, and I hand the phone to him, like, and it was straight down like we saw. I'm like, what a bunch of nonsense! What a bunch of nink cow poops! I can't believe they have anything positive to say, right? And like literally 15 minutes later, the 100 pip drop was a 100 pip rally. Obviously, because of what I said, right? Um, the point is, somebody was just like me, had the exact same opinion, like, what a bunch of idiots. Look, the Bank of Canada is not idiots, but I disagree with their point of view, right? I'm like, holy smokes, are you kidding me? And, in this case, we had a similar move, almost exactly the same move. 100 pips, boom, Canadian dollar skyrockets in value. Just slices and dices the US dollar. And somebody said, are you kidding me? Did you see that move? On CAD? There's no way that that's legit. And he's sitting there waiting at the 21 EMA on the 4-hour, and he's like, this is my go. That's the point. That someone was actually thinking about it and actually had an opinion versus an amateur that says, oh my God, look at the Canadian dollar. I have to sell. I don't know what's going on, but I have to sell. Right? And these guys got wiped off the face of the earth again, twice in less than a week. Here, this was it, right? Down, up. Just like sliced and diced, right? So there's a lot of little messages in there, but it shows you that you need to trade like an adult. You need to have a point of view and an opinion, right? You can't be a child and just chase things around. It's not a game. I don't know why I'm doing this. It just looks fun. So anyways. Yeah, Rob says not getting easy, it's not easy to get in front of that. I totally agree with you. What I'm suggesting that you do is adjust your psyche so that you say, holy smokes, even under duress, the market uses the 4-hour 21. Or you say to yourself, I have a bias, I've done my work, I've done my analysis. There's no way oil is going to go to, $55 a barrel. There's just no way. It's not going to go $60 a barrel, let's say. You're just like, there's no way the Canadian dollar is going to get strong. And therefore, I'm looking for opportunities to buy USD CAD, right? Isn't that what we just talked about yesterday? Like, I swear to you, just yesterday, we were talking about setting a bias and trading that bias and being ready because of that bias. And if you're a buyer on USD CAD and USD CAD is falling, you simply find the next couple of levels of support and wait, and see if there are opportunities. Okay? A drop to the 130, right? This 133 area, and you combine that with the EMA, it's not a hard trade. Doesn't mean you have to take it, but you confirm it in your mind that it is important. It's worth respecting because it's important to other people that may actually put the money in. So there's only one of two things happened here. Okay, buyers bought it up, or the bears took profit. I suppose, or a combination, right? Okay. Yeah, Michael says more on the 4-hour 21, because the way I remember it is it came down yesterday, because remember, it's moved, right? It's flattened a little and it's moved. But the way I remember it, it came down and hit it to like the pip, and then chow. And so let's say you're not in it. Let's say it moved too fast, and you're like, Wayne, there's no way I could be in that. I'm okay with it. Think of all the lazy late traders that threw down trades and got slaughtered because they did it late, or they were reactionary. And if you're reactionary, then you got to keep your trades small, keep your stops, close, and not add to losers, right? So you might have shorted at the 382, did it too quickly, maybe try again at the 618, and maybe you stayed in it, maybe you didn't. So maybe you took one loss, in this zone, but you should know from your training that like you're going to expect a role reversal there, right? You're going to take a shoulder here, just typical head and shoulders type stuff, and you're going to fib the drop, right? So if you were a hardcore trader and you're like, man, look at that drop, I hope it comes back so I can sell it, then you're hardcore, right? You're ninja time, right? And your trade plan probably would have looked something like this, right? Right? You can't sell as it's falling. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. No, no, no. Right? You guys know that Megan Trainor song? That's the. Or am I just sounding like a buffoon? No, what can I say? Life is great. Life is grand. Life is good. Okay. So that's that. Pretty neat, huh? You could do it that way, but you need oil to go up. So maybe a bouncy bounce at 50. Is that what you're playing? But we've been playing that a while, haven't we? So we're putting all this together. What's going on in oil? Okay. Okay. So you have to say, well, we're going to break out and head oop. So the market opened already today. Huh. Doesn't seem incredibly bullish, but maybe we're going to tickle it first. Do a 50-50, right? 50-50 and then up. But what is your opinion? See, if this goes up, USD CAD drops like we just outlined. That means Canadian dollar gets stronger. Okay. If you think it's going to fall below 50-50, which we've also had trouble doing, then USD CAD goes up to the next level, and we do have price action support and pivot support for that. So yeah, one or the other, right? 50-50 odds. I wonder if you can get better odds. Well, better odds are probably just simply a better trade. Okay. Well, I don't think there is one, Jimmy. I don't think there is one. Back in my old FX boot camp days when I had a full staff, Kurt Worley was our quant, and he's very, very, very smart and did all the crunching of numbers, so he looks at the numbers. And I'm more of a markets kind of guy. I kind of feel the markets along with the data. I mean, obviously, I don't ignore the data, but let's just say, I'm more Captain Picard and he was more Commander Data, right? And we'd have this conversation. What was leading the way, dollar or S&P 500? When they were highly correlated, which one was the stock market going up because of the dollar, or was the dollar, changing because of the stock market? Yeah, and I always chose the stock market because to me, I need a reason like why. So I forget what the correlation was at the time, but let's say if the stock market went up, the U.S. dollar went up, and I said, well, that would prove that foreigners are buying the S&P 500 and they're trying to get into that stock market because maybe theirs is falling, or they want to earn dividend yields that are higher than their domestic currency or whatever, right? So to do that they need US dollars, but he'd look at it from the other point of view and he'd say, no, well, it really has to do with the US dollar, and because of the US dollar, you're going to have stronger blah 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 blah, and therefore the market goes up. And is it chicken and egg thing? Well, I know I'm right, but he also knew he was right. At the end of the day, we were both right. But yeah. So how do you increase your odds better than 50-50? You pick a trend, yo. Look at just it's so ridiculously beautiful. Look at this. Right? This was the target when we were here. Like, take your profit at the M2. Look, I mean, it did go lower, but look, then it did come back. So you can see if you got out at the M2, you're playing the law of averages, and it went a little lower and a little higher, you would have done just average to get out at the monthly M2. But the thing is, you knew when we were up here, because remember, like, I wouldn't have even been able to fit this stuff down here because the charts adjust. So we were sort of in here, and I'm stretching the charts to get this because it's so far away. I wonder if I can do it this way and then get rid of that. Okay, so all right, so we were looking at it like this at the time, down, 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 right? And then I'm like, yeah, if we break out, right? If we break out, and I'm really trying to squeeze the charts in, you want to get out here. And I remember talking about, I don't have too many rules, but you always get out at M2, or sorry, S2 or R2, that kind of thing, right? And like we were way up here, so if it breaks, pulls back and drops, that's the target, right? Did I, this kind of stuff, very unusual, obviously, right? But check it out. You could have split it all, got the law of averages, but look how it played as a role reversal. Are you kidding me? So here, the law of average. So you got the average price, went a little lower, went a little higher. Maybe you were getting back in, but look at the role reversal here and here. Oh my God. Becky, look at those pips. All right? Holy smokes. Isn't that just wonderful stuff? Do the no, no, no. And there we go. So down, back to the 21, down, back to the 21. You just keep playing that game. And maybe the odds of this continuing to fall are better than the 50-50 odds you get on the oil market, right? Is oil breaking low right now as we talk? I mean, look, there might be a trend, bro. That's how you increase your odds. Look at selling the monthly central pivot. Holy smokes. Wow. Redonkulous, huh? Look at that. All right, cool. Sorry, I got some amazing things going on. All right, so yeah, so that's that. Boop. How can I serve your pleasure? What would you guys like? A little Aussie action? Yeah, let's do Aussie. Thanks for the input. Yeah, what would you like to talk about? Aussie yen? Okay, good. All right. All right. Let's see. We covered this yesterday. Yesterday. Right? You remember? So, uh, did I or I remember doing this, but I might have been doing this for myself. Did, did, did we do it Aussie yen yesterday? This might have been my own analysis. We probably did it. Well, anyways, you can kind of see I have this little gray zone as a buy zone. Came down, hit a 50%, launch it, right? Check this out, though. Oh, no, it was daily, I think. Check this out. No, 4 hour. Huh. What am I looking at? I guess it was daily. Was it daily? Yeah. All right. So it was just a late kick. The daily 21. So you can see the price action here, right? Consolidation, right? Up, down, 21, buy. Up, down, 21, roll reversal. That's what this stuff is, right? Buy. That's all it is. This. You guys have seen me trade 5-minute charts and 15-minute charts with this, up, down, buy, up, pull back, roll, reversal, fib stuff. I mean, you've seen me do it on all time frames, right? Here's daily, right? Doesn't it look exactly the same? No, we're a little bit rangy here, but zoomed in here, right? I mean, isn't that exactly the way we do this day in and day out? And what does this show? Oh yeah, I even have an upside target. Oh, I must have done this for you guys yesterday, right? I hope I didn't keep it. So anyways, yeah, we're up here, man. So buying at 79 with a target of 81. Got to get through 80 though, right? But I think it'll pop if we can get through 80, right? And this is just old. But would you guys agree that I've gotten this, to standard operating procedures in your mind? Ron says yes, right? Just riding this 21 on the roll reversal, up, down, up, down, up, right? Right. Yeah, on a 4 hour, right? This is the macro one. We were talking about this over here. So this is on a 4 hour, I think, right? And then I have this down here predicting the reversal at support. You guys remember doing this? This was at, a week and a half ago. We were in here and we were caught in this range, but we're at the bottom of the range. So now you want to look for a reversal pattern on a smaller time frame, like maybe a 15-minute chart. So now I got to kill that. Let's see if I can get that far back. Do the no. My name is no. Here we are. Okay. So at that time we were talking about in a range, but at the time we were at the bottom of the range. So you can see I've identified the range at the bottom of the range. Down, up to the 21, down, double bottom. Now look, I'm wrong though. I'm even wrong in my analysis. But the thought process is still the most important thing. Being right or wrong is just really a risk management issue, right? Isn't it all about strategy first? Tactics are just how you enter and exit, right? Strategy first. So you can see the strategy is down into the support, knowing that there's that my bias is long. You know that on Aussie yen. And now we're in consolidation. So now you go to a range trade and you're a long-term buyer off of support, right? So then we get this drop to support and look at the plan, guys. To the 21, down, double bottom, higher high, higher low. You can see I'm wrong. It didn't happen that way. What happened? Down to the 21, double bottom, got that right. Higher high, got that right. Triple bottom, higher high, and off and gone. Okay? Okay? I guess that ain't gonna work. Cool, right? Cool beans, right? You see, we're just talking this triple bottom of a triple bottom. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and again, roll reversal, hot to go HOTTOGO. I had someone that I mentored. I'm not joking. Mentored him maybe I don't know. It's probably a year ago now, and he's emailing me in the middle of the night, panicking about this. He's like, "I got." There you go. Ooh, sorry. The name is No. Jimmy's like, that's the funny part. So cool, man. So I'm hoping you're crushing it. That's that. Um, October Philly Fed non-manufacturing survey 16.3 snoozer. A little disappointing, but not much. Wow. Spanish King Felipe the Fourth seeking views on constitutional reform. Man, what does that guy do in the morning, huh? How'd you like to be King Felipe of Spain? That sounds like more fun than being the Queen of England, right? I think I'd rather be the King of Spain. Wayne, would you be able to quickly show your moving average settings for the 21? Sure, be happy to. The name is No. Gonna have to guess 55. There she be. Any more? I don't think I'm ever going to mentor again. I don't know, but it's fairly expensive, but not terribly expensive. But um, I don't know. Email me, Eds. But yeah, this is mentoring. Yeah, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't have time. But I don't like to say no. Excuse me, I'm so tired. I don't like to say no because it helps. I mean, it helps. I know it helps. I just don't have time. Okay, not sure why mine is showing higher than yours anyway. Yeah, don't know. Maybe it's just your rollover time. Maybe you're already in tomorrow or something. I don't know. So I don't know. So Ed's, do you have my email? Yeah. Anybody? Do you have Ed's? So I don't know. Ed's Forex. Ed Z Forex. Boom, 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 boom. So let's move on. .com. What else do I see? Um, so I know last week I covered the double bottom 1 2 3s on all the ends, right? Do you guys remember that? The end pairs on the dailies all had double bottoms with higher highs. So the setup was to buy dips. Ron and Ron both remember. Anybody else? Maybe Jimmy. I can show it, I guess, on Kiwi just to change her up. Miles remembers. Robbie. Poor Ron J was born with missing an N. Yeah. Rob B had one of his B's separated at birth. It's not Rob with 2 B's. It's Rob space B. Separate. His B's were separated at birth. Anyway, so here it is again. Drop, 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 double bottom, and that doesn't look right. Oh, hourly. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe 4 hours easier to see it, maybe. My name is No. Yeah, I guess so, right? So, yeah, all right. So let's do it again. Double bottom, right? Higher high. You can see even, right? What have I taught you to do? All these years, what do they add up to? Hammock. Thank you. That is the secret word. Hammock. Amazing that you guys got that. Love it. I'm glad we came up with that idea. So, if you squint, you will notice that it's exactly a 50% retracement. Bounce off the 74, and we could be on our way. We may not be, but we could be. So, Miles says still seems in the range. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Seems like a break to me. You might say it's in the range, and you might be right. I'll play a double bottom high like that every time. Just every time. Remember the consistency idea? Just every time. You show me that, it's long, it's gone, we're on our way to 80, not a problem. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but that's how I think. Okay. So I might be wrong, but it's going to break resistance and head up. Is my opinion, right? So I love you, babe, but I gotta jump. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. Find somebody you haven't spoken to in a long time and remind them that life is great, life is grand, life is good, life is beautiful. Because you remind me of that every day. Cheers.